What is up, y'all? I don't know if I'm live or what the dealio is. Sweet. Alright, so I don't know what. I just found this phone holder in my closet, so we'll see. We'll see how this goes. But this is the bike as of late. So I'm gonna be doing a few things, and I just thought I would be doing something I haven't before and tried going live. So let's get some of this crap out of the way. So if you guys haven't seen my latest videos on this bike, I welded up the exhaust. I finally got coolant hoses for this thing. I did have the radiator mounted, but I got a brand new radiator that I've had just laying around. It's not brand new, I just haven't used it. So that'll be cool. We're going to be installing that. We have a brand new PWK 28mm carburetor that'll look sweet on this bad boy. And we have a few other things. But first, I welded up this tab with just some disgusting booger welds. I'm going to clean all that up and test fit it. Hopefully get the exhaust knocked out, and then we'll work on foot pegs and other stuff. But let's get this exhaust working. And as for the chats, for those watching, I don't expect a lot of people to watch this, but this is mainly for my personal assortment of videos, just so I can look back and see what I did to this thing in the process. But yeah, for those watching, if you guys put something in the chat, I might not see it, but I'll try every few minutes or so to look at the chat. But yeah. Alright. Of course, turning the other way so I don't just blow sparks all over this thing. Move this over here so you boys can see what I'm doing. Alright, boys. Don't know if you were able to see that, but I got the mount on there and it's looking pretty dang good. So we'll see if we can get this on here. Now, I just want to note yes, I am fully aware that these welds look atrocious. And that's because I'm welding with flux core. I just bought a new welder, and so I'm trying it out. I actually went to welding school at a local community college, and I did really well. Um, but the only thing though is they're using nice ESOB machines. They have like they're all dialed in already, and they have gas. I'm just using a crap welder that's in it's in metric or something. So I'm learning that, trying to get it dialed in, but also I'm using flux core wire, so that just is a pain to get right and not burn through, because this is kind of thin stainless steel, so you're definitely it's definitely hard to do with gas, much less flux core. So I think I did a decent job considering that. But I mean, I've examined the holes from the inside. When I weld them, I put a little camera down in there, and there's no leaks or anything, so that is fantastic. But yeah, and of course, hold on, let me heck on it. Sorry, guys. Now, of course, once I get this thing fitted properly, I figure out the brakes, mount the exhaust, everything. I'm going to tear it back apart, re-weld these engine mounts, and paint everything, including the exhaust and all that stuff. So while it does look pretty bad now, and the welds look disgusting, the grinding and paint makes the welder you ain't. So it'll look pretty good once I have everything else done. Now, and just so you guys know, yes, yesterday was my last day of school, so I can make more content this summer without worrying about impeding on my studies, so that's pretty dang cool. Looks like we are in business, and so I'm just grabbing a few zip ties, because at least for the time being, I didn't want to actually put zip ties around the hot exhaust. I think this support tab will not melt these, but we'll see. I'm not relying solely on these zip ties, but in the future, when I take the engine back off and everything, I will weld up a different support tab for this, so keep that in mind. As I've said in other posts, this thing looks pretty dang sketchy, but I'm trying to build this so it's as safe and as bulletproof as possible. So yeah, because I mean, you might think the viewers might think it's cool that you see some of these other builders on YouTube, Facebook, etc., where they just throw a crazy engine on the flimsiest bike possible. They don't put any thought into safety or anything. There was even a YouTube video that I saw of a guy that was claiming to ride 125 miles per hour on a snowmobile engine that he strapped to a bicycle, a woman's step-through beach cruiser, and he clocked in at 120 something miles per hour on this thing, and was wearing flip-flops and no head protection. So I just want to make it clear that I am not going for recklessness, and I do not condone being reckless, because throughout the years, riders have been reckless, and their recklessness ruins the hobby for a lot of people. Not only because they're reckless, but because they have no sense of safety, and they go out, ride their motorized bike in the opposite lane of traffic, get hit, and now, whoa, who would have guessed there's now new laws concerning motorized bike riding. No, now it's illegal and all that good stuff. So I'm trying to do my best to build the community and to help people out there to build bikes that are safe to ride without hurting people. Alright, so we got that on there. That's pretty dang sketchy, but it fits very well. Sweet. Now, what are we gonna do now? Let's mount. I'm thinking what we need to do. Alright, the engine is mounted on there good. We have this. We're not going to plug that in right now. Yeah, let's mount this bad boy up in here. Hold on. I'm removing one of the bolts out of the radiator. So give me 2 seconds. Why did I do this? There we go. Alright. So. Where the heck did I... Oh, man. Trying to find my hardware, boys. Give me 20 seconds. Daggone it, I was sitting on it. missing one more washer. There it is. Alright, no new chats. Let's slap this baby in gear. Alrighty. Yeah, boys, run business now. Sweet. Sweet, that ain't going nowhere, boys. So now we have the coolant line. What kind of seat is that? I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. I bought it at a yard sale. It was in a box. I think it was, if you look at Bikeberry's F-Zero bike, I believe, this is the same frame that comes off that. It doesn't have the sissy bar. It has like clamps that wrap around the seat stay. And so I just had these brackets. It came with 2 brackets that were in the box I bought at a yard sale. And so I just used 2 of the brackets. And, but yeah. Hope that answers your question. I don't know where you can buy them. Bikeberry probably has them. I don't condone buying anything from Bikeberry, but, yeah, you can probably find it somewhere. Now, mount these right here. That fits there. Alright. I might need to do some finessing, boys, because this might be a little tricky. Oh man. Alright. So I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to try to cut this line a little bit shorter because it's crimped in the back there, and I don't really like that, so I'm going to try to see if I can fix that. And if y'all have any questions about this bike or any other bike, feel more than free to ask. Yo, what's up, boys? We keep getting more and more people. Thank you guys for watching. Alright. So this should work. I just noticed now that we have this one hose clamp. So before we put water in it, we're definitely going to need to get some hose clamps. Sweet. Alright. I don't know if you could see what I just did there, but I shortened this tube and that got rid of the crimping. That's great. Hey, Paul Gale, how you doing? Alright. So, that's one down. Let's see. Slap that bad boy in there. Dick going. Sweet. Just need a hose clamp that bad boy. And I'll be right back. Need to get a screwdriver. Yes. So to Paul Gale's question, this is kind of a mix of a few dirt bikes. If you look back on my YouTube channel way far back, I did a few videos where of my KX80 engine, not my KX80 engine, my KX80 dirt bike. I traded Pokemon cards for it. I got it running somewhat good, but I pulled the engine off to refresh it and change a few things, and there was severe damage to the frame itself. And so I was able to completely rebuild the engine and all that stuff. Come to find out, this is actually a KX100 bottom end, so like transmission and everything, with a KX85 top end. So this thing will make about 20 horsepower or so, and it has a 6-speed manual transmission. So it'll be pretty fun. But it's water cooled and all that stuff. So this entire bike is pretty much a hybrid of the dirt bike parts on like a 2000, I believe this is a 2000 Schwinn Orange County Chopper frame. And so I put the dirt bike wheels, fork, brakes, engine, all that good stuff on it. So it'll be fun, all right. Now, this is probably my most powerful bike so far. I mean, my 212 bike. Let me take the phone out real quick. This is my 212 bike right here. It runs on alcohol. And I mean, this thing is a beast. But it is running. That thing probably has 15 horsepower. This thing will have like 20. But it'll also have that gears. Yeah, the 212 is running a CVT. So it isn't quite a single speed, but yeah, this thing will definitely outperform it in about every way. The dirt bike that I got this thing off of, this, believe it or not, whole contraption is lighter than the original dirt bike. The original dirt bike would go 60, 70 miles per hour with just the stock gearing and stuff. So, I mean, at minimum, without me changing any of the gearing on this specific bike, we're looking at, 60, 70 miles per hour easily. Now, this bike right here, the 212, it can also get that fast, like, pretty easily as well. But considering this is using dirt bike gearing, which means that even in the sixth gear, it's optimal for, like off-road use. So if we play around with the gearing and making it optimal for street use, this thing will be a beast. But I don't plan on going any faster than 50, 60 miles per hour on this thing, but it'll still be heck of a lot of fun. Oh, crap, this phone case. Daggone it. There we go. And so, like I said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, because I'll be more than happy to talk to you guys and answer any of your questions. I have no clue why the phone is so blurry. I'm sorry, guys, but at least it looks blurry on my end. Wow. That is an insane amount of crimping. So we're gonna try that. Well, I really do not think that there will be any way that we can fix this, but nah, I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna do an in. Alright, sweet. So we have the coolant lines on that bad boy. Minimal interference. That spark plug is pretty close, but it's all good. Alright. Guess we can get the carburetor on this bad boy. Move that out of the way so you boys can see it. I'm gonna spin this thing around. Yeah. Alright, sweet. Alright. Hey, so I just got done mounting the new radiator and the coolant hoses, and I welded up off camera a support tab for the exhaust. So we have that finally 100%. We're gonna put the carburetor on this bad boy, put the throttle on this bad boy, link up the fuel tank, and then we'll try to get it running, see if it shifts all the gears and all that good stuff, and then we'll test out. This might not be all today, but I mean, I'll be here for a few hours. But and then check out the chain alignment and all that good stuff. So, yepers. That's the plans. So we have this bad boy right here, looking sharp. Before I am hasty and put it on the bike, I'm gonna hook up the throttle cable on here just because I don't know if I'll be able to do that with it mounted on the bike. So let me get my tool. Sweet. You really don't got much from a builder's standpoint. Technically, if you wanted to, you could try start it in a few. I mean, yeah, but I want to make sure a lot of it is checked off. I don't really want to start this thing with starting fluid just because I just rebuilt this engine and I want to make sure that it has proper lubrication and all that good stuff. And by starting fluid, I just mean, you know, the ghetto gasoline in a spray bottle. But yeah. Alright. And I mean, I'm taking this slow for you guys, to be honest. If I really worked full pace, then it would not be intelligible. Because, I mean, that's one of the reasons why, if you look on my channel, I don't do a lot of building on camera. It's just because, you know, I get too hasty, and by the time I'm done, I'm like, oh, I should have probably taken a video of myself doing that. Alright. Sweet boys. I've done this a time or two. Definitely not my first rodeo with these PWK carburetors. Alright. And I honestly like doing these wiring up the cables in the carburetors a lot easier when it's just the cable not connected to the throttle assembly, just because you have more cable to work with. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Then you just slide this bad boy on there. Sweet. So I rebuilt this and I fired it up with regular a squirt bottle with pre-mixed gas in it, and so I know that it runs, and it runs pretty healthy. It's just that I try to keep it to a minimal, and at this point I only have one squirt bottle in it. You know, I don't buy starting fluid, so I use gasoline in squirt bottles, just the way all rednecks do it. And so I only have one squirt bottle. I should probably get two, but the squirt bottle I have now is filled with regular gasoline. So I don't really want to start it on this bike, this engine, with regular gasoline, because no lubrication does not go too well with an engine. But so we have the throttle assembly, just a cheap old thing to get this bike working. Ever since I used one of these with the pulley system, I've fallen in love. It's one of the they call it like the short throw assemblies, and so it makes it really easy, really smooth. Ever since I got one of these, I've used it on pretty much all of my bikes, and they work really well. Alright, I'll be right back. Need to get a screwdriver. Alright. Absolutely, man. 2 strokes Two strokes are reliable as long as you get down lubrication. That's really that's really the hardest part of two strokes. I mean, four strokes, you can just throw in pretty much the cheapest lubrication, and it'll run reliably for the most part. I mean, but two strokes, man, you really have to have the highest of the high and a good carburetor tune for it to be somewhat reliable. That's definitely the hardest lesson I've learned over the years, is how to tune carburetors and use the proper lubrication and all that good stuff. And so there'll be a video out pretty shortly on how to do all of that good stuff, how to tune your carburetor properly. So you guys are the first to know. So watch out for that video drop. I'm just fiddle farting around here, trying to get this. Now I do notice some of these throttle assemblies are cast aluminum. They appear to be like CNC machined, but most of them, like especially the black ones, they're just cast. And so just like any cast threads, they're messed up on the first few, so just make sure you don't cross thread it on top of that. But yeah, we got that bad boy in there. Now, I tell a lot of people, if you guys aren't on Reddit and all that good stuff, I tell a lot of people that, I mean, motorized bikes, it's a fun hobby, but if you can't handle the little stuff, it's not for you. I mean, the hardest part really isn't even, mounting an engine and all that stuff. A lot of people think that's the hardest part. No. The hardest part is all the little stuff. So, I mean, if you're expecting to build a motorized bike and have zero reliability issues and zero maintenance without doing a lot of things, it's not for you. But at the same time, this hobby can be pretty freaking awesome if you know how to do everything and you're willing to do everything. Alright, I'll be right back. Gosh darn it. Now, boys, you might notice I'm going slow. I'm going slow because I want you guys... Well, this live is really for my personal recollection, so I can go back and see how I did how I did stuff for this specific video, this specific bike. But I'm also taking it slow because I mean I don't have to rush myself. I don't have to rush myself because nothing ever good comes out of rushing. But I do want to get this thing running good and in a short amount of time. So, all right. So we got it hooked up. Now we just gotta now I do notice when putting this together just now that the quality on this specific throttle assembly is not very high. I believe I got this thing for $12. So I mean I didn't pay for quality, but the throttle assembly, I don't know if you guys can see, the throttle assembly on my 212 bike is super high quality. And that was $12 as well, $12 or $13. And so this is actually machined with like a powder coat on it. So I'm very surprised that that was only like $13. But I wanted to try something new with this bike. It looked identical, the one that I got for this bike. But now that I see it, now that I know that it's not super high quality, I'll probably stay away from it in the future with future bikes. But the more you know, you know. But yeah, now let's try to get this bad boy on here. I'm actually gonna take off the front brake because I'm having issues with that. Oops. Man, I really hate this. I really hate this phone. Here we go. All right. Oh yeah, I forgot. We need to properly route the cable. Always fun. All right. So. I don't know if you can see that. We're routing the cable. I'd say, yeah, that looks good. Slap that bad boy on there. Throw some zip ties on it. Should I go through the forks? Yeah. All right. All right, boys. So we got that on there. Where's... Now, I've been thinking about this a lot. So, as some of you may know, I actually am almost very close to 2,000 subscribers. So thank you guys very much for that opportunity of helping out so many people. So, and also, another note, I got my first monetization payment. So, thank you guys so much for that. And with that money, I really want to help the community out. And so I've been thinking that I can use the money that I get through monetization to start my own motorized bike website, not only for forums that people can freely use, but also like parts that are certified to be like good quality parts. Because I notice a lot of people are asking, oh, where do I buy parts from? If you look, especially on the motorized bike upgrade guide video that I post and all that stuff, a lot of people are asking, where do you buy parts? And I tell them, dude, I buy parts everywhere. There's not one specific motorized bike website that sell all perfect parts. I mean, besides Smolik Performance and RDM, for instance. But like the cheaper websites, nothing. Like, well, I wouldn't say nothing. A lot of them, like California Motorbikes, CDH Power, there's a few other ones. They have good parts, but they also have parts that I would not recommend at all. And so I want to start a website, start a business, not necessarily making money, but using the money that I make from YouTube to build a website that I can sell these parts that I know for a fact are good quality parts, and not necessarily make money off of them, but, you know, combine them in an assortment of parts that are trustworthy. So, I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here. I'm actually in the process of kind of doing that, which is cool, but yeah. Alright, boys. Ran into a small issue here. So you can see that little, it's barely able to swing over because that little screw right there is hitting. So I'm going to look in my big assortment of screws to see if I can find anything that's maybe shorter. Yep. Let me just yank that off there. I'll be right back, boys. Oops. Oh, man. I put my I wear my Louis Vuitton. I put my Gucci on. Heck yeah, boys. Oh, come on. Sweet. Alright, I found this bad boy right here. I'm gonna cut it. It has a shorter head on it by a good bit, so we're gonna see if that works. Hey, thanks for joining, Potato. Was running away today. Does that mean, like, even though you weren't on the throttle, it was still running away like a diesel? That's always fun. Alright. Yeah, that's happened to me once or twice. It is not fun. On a motorized bike, that's pretty dang close to death. That's why it pays to run the right spark plug and know how to tune a carburetor correctly, because funny that you say that. Yeah, usually when that happens, it's like an air leak or something, but there can also be other issues. Yeah, it's definitely not fun. And it can definitely cause harm to your engine too. The first time my bike ran away, it actually went into the ditch. Oh man, dude. Yeah, that's usually the first thing that I recommend doing when your engine runs away is just like just put the brakes on. Put the brakes on because the clutch will stop it. But man, dude. Yep, my first bike I built, it went into a ditch and bent the frame all up because it ran away on me. It was not fun. My first bike literally lasted a day and a half, and then it did that. But yeah. Oak Papa. Hi, kilometers per hour. I don't know kilometers per hour. I'm guessing, but this thing will. The stock dirt bike that I'm borrowing the engine and wheels off of, on the stock gearing goes 60 to 70 miles per hour. So you're looking at the same speed on this thing because I'm using the stock gearing and, the engine on it. So I don't know, in kilometers per hour, that's like 140 or something. I want to make that clear. I really do not want to go that fast on this thing, at least until I try and true it. But yeah, that is actually, that's a pretty good speed though for a motorized bike. This is a 212cc bike, and I'm running on alcohol. It runs on alcohol. I'm in the process of porting the head on it. It has a CVT, advanced timing, and a bunch of other stuff. And so this thing has taken me over 65 miles per hour. My cheap GPS app on my phone won't go faster than 65, so I definitely know it was going faster than that, but yeah, and that's miles per hour, so that's like 100, that's still like 130 kilometers per hour. So yeah, fun stuff. All right. Now let's get back to work, boys. Do I know pocket bikes? I know them. I owned one. I convinced my brother to not buy one. But yeah, I've worked on a few. So if you guys don't know, I actually own like a small engine business repair shop where I work on people's engines and stuff, weed whackers, like mowers, all that stuff. And so a few people have brought me pocket bikes. They're cool. For a grown man, they're they're not very power. They're not very powerful, but right, boys, there she does it. I mean, it depends. It depends on like. It depends if you rip the exhaust off of them. The ones that I've seen, the pocket bikes I've seen, they're literally just like weed whacker engines. And I mean, they're not terribly loud unless, as I said, you just rip the muffler off of them. Alright, boys. Daggone it. Oh, you gotta be freaking kidding me. I made it too short, guys. Alright. Yeah. Then I would expect it to be insanely loud. The ones that I have worked on, they always have like little mufflers on them. Some of them have like the banana pipes and stuff. My brother, he's 12. My brother is 12, but he's physically like 8, so he's pretty petite, and he was convinced that he would spend his money to buy a pocket bike, and so, because you know they're small, but they're also like fun to ride around and stuff. But I convinced them, hey, I'll just build you a motorized bike. So if you look back on my YouTube channel, you'll see a 20-inch wheeled Schwinn Stingray, like the ones with the banana seats, and that is pretty decked out. And so that was his bike. But yeah, fun. But yeah. All right, so we have the carburetor on that bad boy. Absolutely potato. That's how it works. Multiply the engine horsepower by 4,000 something, and you got how much power it would make with a ported cylinder. What is the best configuration for a 21 millimeter carburetor? Are you talking jetting configurations, or are you talking like reed valves and intakes? Nice potato. Can't go wrong with a nice dirt bike. Dirt bike exhaust. All right. So, boys, I'm gonna tighten up this hose clamp, make sure everything's good, and then we can maybe try to start this thing. Yeah, boys. Oh, for the air screw. Um, Honestly, you have to play around with it. It's not the same on every single engine. It'll be completely different setting wise. If you want to reset the air fuel screw to like factory default settings, screw it all the way in until, I mean, hand tight, just gently, and then unscrew it about 3 turns. Not 3 turns, sorry, 1.5 turns, and then that should be about factory default settings. If it's really untuned and really rough on the pilot setting, that's what your air screw is responsible for, is your pilot jetting in your carburetor. And so if you notice that it's really dead, um, like between idle and 1/4 throttle, right off the line, then that means that you'll need to playing around. You need to play around with the pilot jet circuit. Um, Hope that answers your question. A lot of people think that the air fuel screw manages the entire uh, idle through full throttle. No, it only manages the air, the air mixture between idle and 1/4 throttle. Um, I I wrote a carburetor tuning guide that I'll put out um, in the near future. But yeah. So if you're having issues with that, check out your pilot jet circuit on your carburetor. Um, so now let's hook this bad boy up. Slap that bad boy through there. I'm gonna find more screws for this gas tank, and then we'll come back. All right. So we have fuel line and we have screws to mount the fuel tank. Guys, I know what you're thinking. At least some of you, the responsible ones, are thinking, dude, why does this guy have a plastic gas tank on this thing? And to be honest, it's just because I'm lazy. This is what I've had. I will eventually get an aluminum one that fits this bike very well, but for the time being, this is what I have. That's what I'll be using. Oh, potato. Are you Talking about like the water cooled ones, like the serious ones. I guess the I guess the other ones still rev to like 14,000 RPM. Some of them. All right. Hopefully this thing is big enough. That's what she said. All right. Sorry guys for that. Sorry. I truly mean I'm sorry. I did not mean to do that. Daggone, this thing's. Oh, crap. See ya, Akpapa, Akpapa. Have a good one. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Potato. Yeah, those are the same ones that I work on too. Yeah, they still rev. They still rev pretty high. Unlike a weed whacker or whatever, they have like advanced ignition timing or something weird. But yeah, if you port one of those bad boys, yeah, you can definitely make some power, especially if you upgrade like the cylinder and stuff. Heck yeah, dude. Sweet daddy. Oh crap. Okay. Sorry, my screen froze up. Why is this not charging? Sorry, boys. Sweet, I got this. Got the fuel line hooked up. I'll trim it later, but I'll trim it right now. Alright. There we go, boys. Check it. Now let's see if we can fire this bad boy up. Just momentarily. Don't want to burn out the... I do not want to burn out the coolant pump. So let's see. Alright. Man, why is it so blurry? Alright, well. This is the moment of truth. Not much fuel left in this tank. get this bad boy rolling. Sweet. All right. It's got compression, boys. I forgot I don't have a kill switch on this thing. But man, boys, don't know if you heard that, but this thing is freaking sweet. All right, well, with that being said, boys, this thing actually runs really well. No carburetor tuning needed. Well, I mean, I'll still probably need to tune it for a good bit, but for those 2 people that are watching, I hope you guys are satisfied, because you guys just saw in real time this thing smoking the garage up. Wow, boys. I'm happy with those results. So with that being said, I'm going to retire for the time being and get myself some lunch. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys for making this possible. Yeah, boys. Okay, before I go, alright, never mind. See ya, boys. How the heck do I...